and welcome to another Coffee with Carl. I'm your host, Carl Zoellner, one of the attorneys with Anderson Business Advisors. And today we're going to continue our video series on land trusts and their different uses. Land trusts, as I mentioned in the previous video, do not provide asset protection, so we need to look at how to get asset protection if we want to use this title holding vehicle. Like I described in the first video, basically using a land trust is like putting a property in a box, and I can move that box around wherever I want. Now, my ability to, quote unquote, move that box around is designated by who is named as beneficiary. Now, when we go and list the property in the name of a land trust with the county recorder's office, what it's going to look like normally is you're the grantor, as the property was most likely in your name to start with. You can use that nominee trustee, or you can name a person as trustee of that trust, and then the grantor will also be listed as the beneficiary. This accomplishes a couple of things, which I'll talk on in more videos, but really when we're getting the filing done is where we want it to look the cleanest, so that the county recorder doesn't have issues, raise flags, or basically just delay the process needlessly. So we want to make it as simple as possible for the county recorder to see and get the property recorded. So that being said, if you're a Coffee with Carl listener, you know how we normally protect our assets is by putting them in an LLC or some sort of business entity. So when I'm talking about extending coverage, in the beginning, like I said, the grantor is going to be the same as the beneficiary. So how do we extend that coverage? When we put that property into that box, which is the land trust, remember, there is no asset protection, so we need to assign that beneficial interest to something that does provide asset protection. So as you may have guessed, now we know LLCs, corporations, business entities can provide that asset protection. How do we change from myself as an individual, say as beneficiary, to now moving it to the business entity? Now, the way we do this is what's called an assignment of beneficial interest. So as the beneficiary, I hold the beneficial interest, and now I want to make sure I have asset protection, so I need to assign my interest in this land trust, or in the property held in the land trust, over to that business entity. It's a simple form. If we set up a land trust for you, most times we'll even populate the form for you, and all you need to do is sign. Normally what comes with is an assignment from the original beneficiary, which in this example would be me. I would assign my interest over to the LLC, meaning if I'm a manager of that LLC, I would sign an acceptance of assignment, meaning I'm accepting or allowing that property's interest to be held by my LLC. And in this way, that transfer is completed and we now have asset protection for that property. Now, what's nice about that assignment of beneficial interest is it does not get recorded anywhere with the county recorder's office, meaning it is not public record, it is private information. There's some split questions on this, but generally what I would say though is if I want to facilitate this assignment of beneficial interest, I do like having that beneficial interest assignment notarized, so a third party does in fact report that this is when it was signed. In case in the instance that something happens on that property and you are sued, there's third-party verification that you didn't just all of a sudden assign it over to the LLC, that it actually been signed and notarized by a notary that shows when it happened. So nice little piece there as well. So this is how we provide asset protection to assets that are held in land trusts. Land trusts are just simply a marketing term. It's a grantor trust that holds land. So we try to make it simple so everybody knows what each thing does. So like in one of my other videos, I talked about wholesale trust for wholesaling. We'll even discuss a little bit about personal property trust, which holds personal property, and land trust, which holds real property or real estate, or even vacant land if you wanted it to. So we just try to make the naming of it pretty simple, but it's another one of the tools at your disposal. So as always, please take advantage of all of our free content. If you want a consultation, please give us a call. Go to our website, andersonadvisors.com. Always happy to have a conversation with you if there's some tools you want to discuss or potentially need something to protect your assets instead of just leaving them hanging out there for a plaintiff's attorney or a vicious plaintiff to come take from you. Until next time, this is Carl Zoellner with Anderson Advisors. See you next time.